Thanks for coming out. It's good to be here. I had a COVID scare recently. I was drinking a soda and I couldn't taste anything. And then I realized it was just a LaCroix. Alright, it's just the first joke. It's gonna get better from here, I promise. I'm a little rusty. Right? My job's been illegal for the last year, so just been sitting around collecting unemployment, you know. Pretty humbling when the government is like, hey, we'll pay you to not tell jokes. I thought it was going okay, you know. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty nice when that $600 bonus was active. I was making like 80% of my normal salary as a comedian. But now I didn't have to pay for plane tickets or hotels or sex. I was saving so much money. Hey, that joke is so believable, but hey, you know, back to work. I got vaccines here, so I got vaccinated. Who's vaccinated? A round of applause. He didn't clap. Get him. No, I'm just kidding. I got vaccinated, although it was Johnson & Johnson, so I don't know if that counts still, but thanks for coming to my last show. No, I gotta give Biden some credit. You know, I think he did a great job getting the vaccine out quickly, and I mean, obviously it helps to have a son who knows where to get drugs. That joke would have worked for either president. Calm down. Covering the bases. I'm pretty liberal as a person. I think as a comedian, though, it's only fair to make fun of both sides a little bit. Some audiences do not appreciate that. There's a video on my YouTube channel of Trump supporters trying to boo me off stage, if you're into that kind of thing. I wasn't ready to laugh at the time, but I was doing a show recently. This woman chased me down into the parking lot. She's like, you made fun of both Trump and Biden, but I couldn't tell. Which side are you on? I was like, hey, my only allegiance is to the truth. And she goes, but that's Trump. And I was like, oh, the opposite side of you. Not much to talk about. I don't know. I don't know why people are so hesitant to get the vaccine. I mean, I know there's rumors that there's like a microchip in the vaccine. I don't think that's true. I don't think there's a microchip in the vaccine. I do think there's a microchip in the My Pillows. I think that's what's going on. It's obviously connected to a tiny speaker that just whispers subliminal messaging. Every night as you lay down to bed, it's like, the election was stolen. The election was stolen. You're very manly. You know, it just keeps going on. What do they call those things? A white noise machine? What a roller coaster of emotion that joke was for you. That's a funny joke. Wait a second. We don't like that. I mean, it's still pretty good. It's like we just went on a journey together. I don't know. A lot of cops don't want to get vaccinated. It seems like they're all going viral on TikTok, you know. After 27 years on the job, the governor kissed my ass. It's surprising to me. I thought cops would want to get the vaccine. They're usually very eager to take a shot, but I guess cops like COVID around as long as possible because it attacks minorities better than they can, so... I know, they should stop doing that. That's what I agree with you. I understand why a cop might think he doesn't need to get it. He's like, look, I've already got qualified immunity. That's got to protect me from pretty much everything. I don't know. I think all the fired cops and all the fired flight attendants should switch jobs, right? We need more cops that'll just smile and hand you a Pepsi. And we need more flight attendants that'll beat the shit out of people for no reason. That's what's missing. Sorry I'm so divisive. I keep waiting for someone to freak out on my flight, you know, it hasn't happened yet, but I stay ready. I keep all my devices charged, you know. Yeah, I'm not intervening physically, I just want to film it, you know. I'm finally going viral, so follow me. Try not to be divisive. I actually dated a girl that was a Trump supporter for a couple months, you know, just trying to do my part to reach across the aisle. More like reach around the aisle. But, She ended up dumping me because I kept making fun of Trump. That was the big deal breaker for her. She ended up sending me like a 6-page breakup email. And at the very bottom, she wrote, "It's a shame people let politics divide us like this." I was like, "You're the one that's upset. I'm still trying to fuck you. I don't understand." You know, I thought we could just come together, you know. If we could just look at things from a different perspective, like doggy style, you know, I really think. All right. That's exciting. I don't know, I gotta stop talking about my failed relationships on stage. Girls tell me all the time that they hate it, which is weird to me. I mean, Taylor Swift puts out an album about all of her exes. Everyone loves it. I write an album about all my exes, and the judge asked me to stop playing it on her voicemail, track by track. It's such a double standard. It's a crazy time, though. Hopefully, you know, one thing we can take away from this last year is recognizing the things that are actually important to us, you know. And for me, I couldn't have made it through this year without family, with money. That was such a huge help. My brother lives in Hollywood because he's a big-time movie director. You might have seen some of his work, actually. He does all the TV commercials for Taco Bell. Yeah, that's a real job, by the way. That's his real job. That's a real job. I feel let down by my high school guidance counselor. He gets paid millions of dollars to go, "When I yell action, eat the taco." Also, stay away from the dog. He's a biter, you know? Also, I've never been in a Taco Bell commercial. What the fuck? My hair's perfect. Thought Hollywood was all about nepotism. Guess it doesn't run in my family. Thanks, one clap in the back. Will you explain that to everyone later? My brother's got 2 kids, and they're amazing, and I still remember the day he told me I was going to be an uncle. He came downstairs after work. He was like, "We're having a baby, and we need you to move out." And I was like, "Wow, this is how you treat family? That's ridiculous." But the kids are 6 and 4 now, which is a great age, because they can finally, you know, walk and talk and get me stuff from the fridge. But they're smarter than you think, you know. I had an incident... I always fly with a full-size pillow, and I'm sure people think it's weird and they laugh at me, but I don't care. I just smoke a bunch of pot and wake up in a new city. It's the best way to travel. When I was visiting my brother, and his 4-year-old daughter comes running up to me, she goes, "You forgot your pillow last time." And I go, "Wow, how did you remember that was my pillow?" She goes, "It smells like you." She doesn't know it yet, but in 10 years, she's gonna be at a Kanye show. Like, "This concert smells like my uncle." You know? Someone's burning rope over there, I think. My brother got baptized for the first time at age 40, and when my parents found out, they started freaking out, and they called me up. They're like, "We need you to check on your brother. We're worried about him." I was like, "Hey, as far as a midlife crisis goes, Jesus is pretty mild." I mean, you know, at least it's not buying a Corvette and abandoning his family. It could be worse. Too close to home for Ohio? All right. But that's fine. You know, hey, I'll check on him next time I'm down there. Next time I was visiting my brother, I called my parents and go, "Hey, it's way worse than we could have imagined. He's into Kanye. You know, not the old Kanye, the new Kanye." My brother loves Kanye West, Jesus, and fencing, so somehow I turned out to be the normal one in the family. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Jesus. It's good for his family and his life. It just sucks because, you know, he gets a little judgy when I want to catch a buzz. We took a family vacation recently, and we rented an Airbnb together. And end of the night, I open the door to smoke on the porch, and my brother starts freaking out. He's like, "Don't do it out there. It's not legal here. I don't want the neighbors to freak out." And I was like, "Wow, I knew weed made you paranoid, but I thought you had to smoke it first, you know?" Also, we're in Florida. Like, I don't think they're gonna care, you know? They'll just be happy I'm not doing bath salts. Right? I get it. I used to be embarrassed that I smoked pot until I started touring the country as a comedian, and I realized how popular Oxycontin is. I was like, I'm doing fine, you know? It's like speeding, right? Speeding is illegal, but as long as you're going with the flow of traffic, no one's gonna care, right? But if you're going 80 and some guy flies by you at 150, who do you think the cops are going after? Exactly, the black guy going 55, but that's besides the point. I don't want to be a nuisance. I'm like, hey, where should I go? He goes, across the street, there's an abandoned field. Just go smoke out there. I don't want the neighbors to freak out. So I'm standing in an empty field at 1 in the morning, like, yeah, I think this is worse, actually. I'm pretty sure the neighbors will have no problem with a tall, dark, shadowy figure flicking a lighter in the wind, you know, as the fog rolls in. Looking like a scarecrow came to life. I'm sure there will be 0 911 calls about this in the morning. But it only takes 5 minutes. Of course, nobody sees, and from that far away, it looks the same as a cigarette, as far as I'm concerned. So I finished smoking. I'm trying to get back to the condo, but it's one of those condos where all the units look the same. Yeah. So now I'm at J, trying to find C, like a backwards alphabet DUI test, you know, just creeping around Nana's rose garden. Is this the one? No, I'm sorry, don't want to freak the neighbors out. I was just over there to not freak you out. Now I'm freaking you out. This is heaven forbid I just smoke on the porch. So I finally, after like 10 minutes, I give up and I call my brother to rescue me, knowing I'm going to get this huge lecture about drugs and Jesus. But I stop him before he gets me. He goes, you know, because I'm like, so you're telling me that when you feel anxious, you just remember that Jesus loves you and everything feels better? He's like, yeah. I was like, that's what drugs do for me. You're talking to a guy who's not there. I have imaginary friends. We're not that different, you know? I think you should try drugs. You'd probably like it, you know? Cleveland, all right. That's how we get by. That was 2 years ago, and now he grows pot in his backyard. So I won the conversion battle. You guys are fun. Man, speaking of kids, I bet all those people that moved from California to Texas during the pandemic are like, abort, abort. I don't know what you guys are so upset about. Look, I know it's a tough topic to talk about as a man, you know. Obviously, I'm pro-choice, you know. It's not something I would ever do, but I can't imagine how hard it is to have to actually keep a child. You know, that sounds crazy to me, but should abort this joke in the middle of it, but I'm not liking it. This new Texas law is crazy. It's like a $10,000 fine for even helping someone get an abortion, which is crazy. But Lyft and Uber came out and said that they're covering the fine for any drivers, which is great. Yeah, I think, you know, if you're making your girlfriend take an Uber to get her abortion, she really needs that fucking abortion. I think that's the guy that you're like, this is the one I'm gonna settle down with. All right, we'll move on to less controversial topics. Confederate statues, okay? So here's the thing. Did they really cut my mic? Oh shit, okay, I was like, look, I see both sides of the issue. Please leave my mic on. No, look, on the one hand, the Confederacy lasted 4 years. That's not really heritage. That's more like a phase you went through in high school, you know? On the other hand, I had a girlfriend for 3 months that I still write jokes about 3 years later. So it's hard to get over stuff, you know? She keeps texting me going, give me back my underwear. I'm like, no, those are monuments to history, okay? If we forget our past, we're doomed to repeat it. You don't understand. I live in Seattle, and I got really into hiking this year as my pandemic hobby. What better for your depression than to be alone in the woods for several hours, you know? Just looking over cliffs like, oh, man, that would hurt. At least if I fell, I'd feel something, you know? It's just a joke, relax. You're not gonna see me on the news tomorrow. They wouldn't cover it. But, embarrassed at first because I'm a pussy. And I was doing some research. It's very confusing online because it says, oh, if it's a brown bear, do one thing. But if it's a black bear, do the complete opposite. I'm like, that's fine, but how do I explain to the bear that I don't see color? You know, I'm one of the good ones, bear. I'm on your side. I went back online. It turns out there's like a nursery rhyme for bears. I don't know if you've ever heard this. It goes, if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. Well, I was like, I think they got that from LAPD. Actually, that's where that's from. Oh, if it's a polar bear, you say, all lives matter, and he lets you go. So. All right. But don't laugh for the wrong reasons. I'm not trying to start a rally. I have a shirt for sale after the show so the government doesn't know I make money. It's a joke about people with fake service dogs. Because I have a friend that has a service dog, but it's a Chihuahua. And I was like, I don't think that counts. She's like, no, it helps with my anxiety. I'm like, the dog shakes more than you do. Your service dog needs a service dog. You know? It's just an emotional support t-shirt, right? Because if you're feeling sad and you don't have your service dog or your vape pen, you know, you just pet this guy and it lines up with your nipples. You're like, I feel so much better already. All my anxiety's disappearing. I need emotional support underwear, you know? They're made in America, if that's important to you. A bunch of Chinese kids in my basement, so I'm getting a great deal on labor. If you buy a shirt, I'll give you a free beer koozie, $700 value. It's got all my social media on the front, Andrew J. Rivers, wherever you want to send hate mail. Instagram, YouTube, OnlyFans. And on the other side, there's a joke, because I saw a bumper sticker one time saying, cars are like wives, if it ain't yours, don't touch. I was like, what a dumb sticker. So I just made these that say, cars are like wives, I accidentally banged yours. I left a note, okay, calm down. Insurance is gonna cover it, all right? Don't worry. And she was totaled, am I right? All right, thank you guys very much for listening. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Make some noise. I love this guy, he's hilarious, he's a good friend of mine, he's been in Rolling Stone magazine, and TBS is Just for Laughs. Give it up for Brett Drunk.